Welcome back to AM Northwest. If your spouse passes away unexpectedly, it can really deal a blow to your finances unless you have a contingency plan in place. Here to tell us more, we welcome back financial planning and consulting specialist David Swanson, along with his buddy Butch. So good to have you back again.
Thank you.
We're more interested in Butch, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But first of all, a lot of these events are completely out of our control.
Yes.
That's why we have to have a plan.
That's right, and if there's a situation where an illness quickly moves to a passing of a person, if your assets are not organized, you don't have a written plan in place, you could end up causing the survivor to have a lot more stress and even lose out on benefits than they would get if you didn't have a plan in place.
The whole family could be affected, right?
Everything.
Everything gets delayed.
Or eliminated.
Or eliminated.
Social Security benefits, pension benefits can be affected. Assets can be lost because they were invested in the wrong way.
Right.
And a change occurred and you weren't aware of that. We counsel people almost every week on situations where a loved one has passed away. And the way to completely protect your assets and make sure that your survivors are well taken care of is to do it while you still can make those choices.
Okay, what are some of the most common problems that you've seen?
Well, one thing is that people don't understand what Social Security benefits are when they pass away, and they do change. And you may be entitled to survivor benefits or even your ex-spouse's benefits that you're not aware of. Other things that may change is the distribution options on the pensions. You may not understand that you can take more income or a different income stream on the passing, and you're overwhelmed with the
Right.
with the grief of the person passing and not able to file that paperwork. So those are really, really important. And the awesome concern of, gosh, am I going to have enough money to live?
Right.
Have we set this up? And it's the obligation of the person who, if they have the opportunity, to make sure that their trust is in line, that their wills are set up properly, that their income is set and their assets are protected. And we help people every day filing for those benefits and making sure that they get the income that they're supposed to and that their pensions are in line, or if you have stock in a private company, that you meet the right date to file for the application for those stocks. Right. And but you may not have the knowledge or the understanding to do that because your spouse took care of it.
Right.
Or the person who was supposed to is no longer there.
And a lot of these contingency plans can set up something for you in case the spouse, let's say the spouse, becomes really ill.
Yes.
So there are many, not just death, but also illness.
And quickly, illness
Right.
can come on very, very quickly. We're pretty fragile, we're just humans, and viruses and all kinds of things can occur to any of us very quickly. And so it is the obligation of the couple to make sure that their family is protected. And that's why establishing a written plan for your retirement income and all of your assets in the event of a loss of one of the partners is absolutely imperative.
And this is in addition to a will, right? Because a will doesn't cover everything. Am I wrong there?
No, you're absolutely right. And if at all possible, we would like to try to avoid probate, which is
Right.
what a will causes. If your assets are such and your situation is such, a trust is, in my opinion, a much better situation because the assets transfer to the parties without having to have intervention of attorneys in the court system and probating the asset. And it will delay the transfer of the assets in the probate, where a trust can essentially immediately transfer assets to the loved one because the trust owns the assets and the new owner, which is the successor, then steps in and takes care of it. But the trust, we've planned it all out. We've figured out if this happens, what the contingency is. How are my grandchildren going to be taken care of? How are my children going to be taken care of? How's my spouse going to be taken care of? So that is absolutely imperative. Now, we see people after they've come, and then we're fixing it later. It's a whole lot easier to be ahead of this and have this organized in advance. But we are really, really good at filing paperwork and straightening these out for people. So if that's happened to you, you can give us a call, and we'll do the best we can to make sure you get every benefit that you're supposed to.
Makes a lot of sense, David. All right, David's going to be back a little later in the show to answer your retirement planning questions, so stick around for that. Thanks so much for watching AM Northwest this morning. David Swanson from Swanson Financial is back to answer your questions. And today the topic is what to do when a partner unexpectedly passes or gets diagnosed with a serious illness. All right, so we do have some questions for you. Here we go. My husband recently passed, and I have so many questions about how to claim his pension, insurance, and Social Security benefits. Can you help me?
Yes, and so what you would need to do would be to gather all of your information, just give our office a call, and we'll go through each piece and get you the best benefit that you can get with what's available.
This is one of those things where we should have had a contingency plan in place, right? And this is what we want to avoid.
So the survivor would have had a checklist that says, okay, when I pass, here's who you call, and this is what you do, and this is
Right.
what you should expect next. This is what it is, and this is what.
Right.
And we want to have that, and we would plan that for all of our clients. They would have that checklist in the event that either one of them passed or they both passed in a common accident.
Right.
Then the survivor, the children, could come in and say, okay, here's what we need to do. We know where everything is.
Right. My husband, my spouse and I worked until 66, just recently retired. We planned for 25 years in retirement together. He was diagnosed with terminal cancer last month. I need some help in sorting this all out. Can I contact you directly?
So here is a situation, as it is very common in our practice, where one person was the decision maker and the other person did everything else.
Right.
Okay, so but it takes two people to make the whole program work. So the decision maker now may not be able to, the financial decision maker may never have really shared these things or figured out, even the support person may not even know how to pay the bills, may
Right.
not even know how to make the mortgage, may not even figure out how to run the house financially. So this is the time where you need to get this thing taken care of. Once the person passes, it makes it much more difficult to sign and transfer assets
Right.
to where they need to be. So the sooner you can get this done, the better it is.
Next question is, we're both very concerned about the escalating costs of long-term health care. Oh, that's no joke. Should we purchase long-term health care insurance?
Individual decision. Many people that have bought long-term health care in the past have been making premium payments for all these years and seen those premium payments go up.
Right.
The cost of care has outstripped what we thought the escalating insurance that we put in place. So insurance is not designed to pay for all of it.
Right.
It's designed to pay for part of it. But the question is, the premiums that you pay, is that going to be taking away your current life? And are you going to use it or not? So this is a really individual decision based on the assets, the age, your concerns of what you want to have go forward. The ideal situation is that you have enough resources to cover it for yourself.
Right.
But if not, you need to have some contingency plan in place, and we can help you with that.
My husband and I are both working but very close to retirement. He had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. We're considering retiring now. Can you advise us?
So I've talked about this before, about this pile of money that you're supposed to get some number you're working for. It's ridiculous. It's all based on what you want to do in retirement, the things that you want to accomplish. And when an event occurs that could change your course of your longevity, maybe you reassess where you are and say, look, maybe we have enough. And if you
Right.
can retire now and enjoy those times with your spouse, you can. We have cases where people do have strokes at work and they're able to go back to work a little bit. But maybe what we should do is figure out how to retire before and not have that stress, and maybe we wouldn't have that situation of a weakness in our health to take advantage of our long-term life. So plan, figure out what your all of your assets are, figure out a written opportunity for you to say, okay, this is what I have, I can take this income. If I have to work, I have to work. If I don't have to work, then let me make that choice if I
Right.
should go or I should not.
Right, absolutely. Want to tell folks, if you'd like to find out more, contact Swanson Financial, 503-603-9900. We'll put that information for you on our website at KATU.com.